Welcome, guys, episode number 20, and I'm really happy to have every one of you here. Especially the guys that has been with us since episode number 1 and all the way down to episode number 20. It has been a really crazy ride, and like I do say, it's something I want to keep going, something I want to keep bringing up week by week. Let's see how it goes this whole year. So at the same time, to celebrate episode number 20, we are actually going to incorporate stock indices this time around, but we are going to start off with just US30 before we can add NAS 100 and the rest of them. So a huge kudos to everybody that have been with us all this while. And like I told you guys, we are going to keep expanding, we are going to keep growing, and let's see how we end up this whole year. So with no much ado, we're going to look at what we have for this upcoming week from August 17th, 18th, all the way down to August 22nd. So, like I told you guys, we have incorporated a stock index. So that means that we are going to look out for news that would actually influence the stock market. So this time around, it's going to be like a concentric kind of analysis instead of it just being so simplistic. So now we are going to look at what we have for Monday. You can obviously see that Monday is going to be very quiet. Tuesday is definitely going to be quiet for major currencies aside the Canadians. The Canadians are going to have their CPI news release for Tuesday. So like I do tell you guys, for the newbies here, you have to pay attention to the fundamental analysis, because like I've always been saying from episode number 1, you have to look at the markets with two things in mind: the market's intention and market's direction. So market's intention is what brings about the volatility we see in the market, what causes the movement we see in the market, and this is due to the news, due to the political statements, the policy statements, the crisis you see. So all these things, like the bid wars that have been occurring between the US and the likes of Japan, the European zone, and Israel, also India too. So this news actually is what fuels the market. You understand? This movement we keep seeing. So that is what is market's intention. So you first of all need to look out for market's intention before we move over to market's direction. So that's why we keep looking at the fundamental analysis, because that is what tells you what is going to actually fuel the market and what time, when, because when matters. It's not about the price. You always need to look out for where and when. So when matters. So now, like I do tell my mentees, you guys need to understand the market is always within 3 phases. The first phase is the accumulation. For newbies, I've been saying this from my first episode. The first is the accumulation, the manipulation, and distribution. So when it comes to the accumulation phase, that is when the market is quiet. That is when the market tests your patience. And if you're not patient enough, you will tend to see yourself in the manipulation phase. So that is why most traders, once they jump into the market on Monday, they are most times induced. You understand? So more accumulation brings about inducement. So it traps you within a zone. And what happens? You will definitely get manipulated on Tuesday once the news kicks in. So that is why you have to always make sure that you are in the market during the distribution phase. You have to look out for when to be in the market. So that is why we look out. That was why we consider the fundamental analysis. Because take for example now, Monday is going to be quiet. You don't need to be in the market on Monday. You understand? Tuesday is going to be quiet. But we are going to start seeing news. We are going to start seeing movements around Wednesday. So what does this mean? Wednesday is when you should be expecting a manipulation. So what will happen? Professional traders will avoid Monday and Tuesday and wait for Wednesday after FOMC speech release. So that is when they would want to enter the market. So this is what we consider before we enter the market. So that is for Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be it's going to be a little bit quiet. Early days is going to be quiet, aside the news that's coming out for the New Zealand. Aside it, there's no high impact news coming out throughout the day, aside the evening time, which is the FOMC. So the FOMC, we know for sure, is going to cause a huge market move. So that is the day you should be expecting manipulation. That is the day you should be expecting the high of the week. That is for people that want to sell the market, or a selling a bearish market. So that's when the high is being formed. At the same time, for a bullish market, that's when the low is being formed. So that's the things you guys need to put in prospect. You have to always look out to trade the market on the particular days, or you need to trade the market after the manipulation phase. So that is all for Wednesday. On Thursday, you can see obviously there isn't any. Okay, there is. For Europeans, there's going to be the Germans are going to release their PMI, which is definitely going to move the market. The British pound is also going to release their PMI, so it's more about PMIs coming out on Thursday. Also, the US is going to release their PMIs. So okay, so on Thursday is just going to be about PMI. So these news are just going to get the market towards a trend. So definitely from Thursday we get to see markets being in distribution phase, and which is the best time to trade the market. So on Friday we would see definitely a little bit of correction. Fed Chair Powell is going to have a speech on Friday. Okay, and I think that's all for the week. So we are going to move over to market direction to see what this impact would actually lead the market, or get the market, or what direction to lead the market. So now we're going to look at our trading view to see market direction. So stay tuned. Now for this week, we are going to, like I said, we are going to analyze three commodities. So instead of just going on with forex pairs and special metals, now we are incorporating stock indices. So now we are going to look, first of all, we're going to look out for EURUSD. Like I do tell you guys, I don't spend much time on my analysis, because we always want to make it very, very short. We do our analysis within a 20 minutes time frame. So I will definitely tell you guys that if you want further analysis, you can hit me up on my email, which is on my page. At the same time, you can always get to inbox me on Telegram, inbox me on IG, inbox me on Facebook. So all those links are on my page. You can obviously get to those areas. So that is all. So we're going to look at EURUSD very, very briefly. We got to see that market has been within the range of the candle of last 3 weeks. So you can obviously see that market has actually been ranging for the past 2 weeks. So what does this mean? We would most likely see a break towards the candle range of last 2. So I don't know if you guys can see over here. You can see obviously there is this range over here. So let me show you guys over here. So you can see that market has been ranging within this range from 1.1769 all the way from 1.1394 all the way to 1.1769. So this is where market has been ranging for like 2 weeks. So what do we expect? Do we want to see, are we going to see market break this range? Most likely we are going to see it during the FOMC that might gear the market to break such candle range. So let's see what goes on for the FOMC. So what I will say is that definitely FOMC might gear the market to actually break this candle range that have trapped market for like 2 weeks. So but then definitely, like I do tell you guys, what we look out for in every week is who is going to dominate, like I always tell you guys, because definitely this week market is going to sell. It's going to have a sell retracement. It's going to have a buy continuation. So what does this mean? It means that you can actually sell this market and buy this market. You can be selling and someone else is buying this week, and you guys will still make profit. So but the idea is what is going to dominate in the market for this week. So that's what I'm telling you guys, that the market is going to be dominated by the buyers. And what do you want to do? You always want to be within the frame of people that dominate the market. You understand? So you don't want to do the opposite of those that have the crazy amounts of money that would want to invest. So what do you want to do? You would want to follow the trend. So definitely for this coming week, EURUSD is going to buy. So I'm going to tell you guys where most likely is going to buy from. So we're going to look down to the daily time frame and the 4 hour. So for people that keep asking what time frame is best for long term, so like I said, we look down to the lower time frame, and definitely what do we see? We see a fair value gap. So what does it mean? It means that this is an area where price will definitely want to come around. So but then it would most likely not be this week. So let's see where price could definitely want to come around this, because like I said, market for Euro US is going to be dominated by buyers. So we want to look out for where most likely is market going to buy from. So let's see 4 hour time frame. You guys can obviously see that market is still going to push all the way up towards this fair value gap, like cover it properly, bring about an equilibrium. So it's definitely heading towards this other block over here. You can see it has been steepishly been going up, creating higher highs. You guys can see over here, higher high here, higher high here. It came down here too. So what does it mean? It's going to create another higher high. So that's telling you that there's less likely a probability of market coming lower than this low over here. So what do we expect? We would want market to come around this other block. The moment it comes to this other block, it's going to buy up all the way up. So I'm going to show you why I would refer this to another block, why I would call this another block. So like I do tell you guys, you want to see another block, you have to change your chart to that of a line chart. So you guys can see the obvious other block here. So you guys can see it came all the way up, caused another block over here, but another block over here. So and now it has created another other block over here. So what does it mean? Market will definitely want to come towards this other block and pull all the way up towards this other block over here. So this is the area that market is targeting. So that's all for Euro USD. Like I do tell you guys, there is not going to be much time put into this. So I'm also going to show you guys one last thing for Euro USD, one last confirmation. So another thing you guys should also consider is gap splits. You guys should definitely consider gap splits. There's a gap split here at that exact order block area. So what does it mean? Price is definitely going to bounce off from this area. So I'll give my I'll give my signal, my free signal. Like I do tell you guys, it's high quality, but you have to risk wisely. So buy Euro USD from 1.1660, buy it all the way up to buy it all the way up to 1.1762, buy it all the way up to 1.1760. So that is how many pips? That should be 100 pips. So I wish you guys the very best for Euro USD. We move over to USDJPY. So like I do tell you guys, we don't have much time, we have to speed it up. So for UJ, I actually traded this market last week, and it wasn't bad. It was a mix of wins and at the same time few losses too. So UJ has been ranging too, you guys could see. So for UJ, definitely UJ is still gonna sell for next week. It's a definite sell for next week. So like I said, Euro US is going to be dominated by buyers, UJ is going to be dominated by sellers. So what is the target? You guys can obviously see the fair value gap here, which is actually the target. So we can obviously come over here, place our Fibonacci to see where most likely would this go towards. So placing our Fibonacci, let's be fast, we don't have much time. So Fibonacci over here. So what happens, you can definitely see that the extension level is very, very close to the fair value gap. So like I do tell you guys, extension level are key zone areas. So definitely you would want to look at markets coming towards this fair value area. At the same time, an extension, which is like a confirmation. So once price comes to this area, what do we expect? We expect a reaction. We would expect price to definitely bounce off this area. So then the question would be, where would we want to sell the USDJPY right now? So definitely we would want to sell it from a premium price area. So like I do tell you guys, you always want to sell from premium price area. So what is the premium price area over here? Obviously 0.236. is the premium price area, which is at 147.93. So that is an area we would want to sell it from. So let's mark it off. Let's mark it off and look out for confirmations on the lower time frame. So now we head towards the daily time frame. What we are looking out for now is we are looking out for other blocks. We are looking out for gaps, fair value gaps around those areas, around 147.93. So we go down to lower time frame. Let's keep searching. Okay, we can see that this is actually around this 147.94 is actually around a another block. At the same time, there's a fair value gap over here. At the same time, there's a money flow profile that's obviously telling us that, hey, this area is actually has a lot of orders around it. So this is my private indicator. So now we're going to look out to see why this is another block. Using a line chart, obviously you can see that 147.94 has actually caused reactions over the weeks and over the days. So you can see the reaction it caused over here. That was around the 15th of this month, and you can see the reaction it caused on the 13th. You can see the reaction it caused on the 8th. So this area has actually been a very solid resistant area. So that, I don't know if you guys can see, so that is why we would definitely want to sell it from there. So that is why I will say 147, sell UJ from 147 points, let's say 88, sell it from 147.88 all the way down to 145, or let's say 146.88. So I'm giving you guys 100 pips over here. So that is all for UJ. We're going to move over to gold, our MVP. So for gold, I believe most of my mentees were complaining about gold. They were like, gold is really choppy, it hasn't been given a direct movement. So I told you guys last week, you guys can go over to my previous video, episode number 19. I told you guys definitely that gold is going to sell. I told you guys it's going to be dominated by sellers, and what happened? It sold, and it sold perfectly from the area I told you guys to sell it from. You can see that area is still marked perfectly on my chart over here. I told you guys to sell gold from 3413, and it did exactly what I told you guys going to do. So you can obviously see over here the moment it got to 3413. Why did I say 3413? I said it because it was an extension level. I told you guys that Fibonacci extension levels are really gold areas. They are really golden areas. They are golden areas where you would want to expect reactions from. So placing the Fibonacci at this area right now. So let's place Fibonacci over here. So that's, you guys could see over here, it was a perfect extension L level. So the moment price came all the way up to the 168 extension level, that's 349, the moment it got to that area, what happened? It sold massively. So that is what we would definitely see this coming week, which we should still expect the gold to sell this coming week. We should still expect gold to sell this coming week. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but gold is definitely going to sell massively. So what do we expect? We would expect to see gold being dominated by sellers this coming week. So the actual question is now, where do we want to sell gold from? So we're going to go over to lower time frames to look out for areas to sell gold. So like I do tell you guys always have to look out for confluences, either gaps, either other blocks, rejection blocks, and the rest of them. So now we're going to look out for first of all, that is a block. So I'm going to change this line chart. We could see that is an obvious block over here. So that means price will definitely want to retest it, and that means that there is a less likelihood that price will definitely go against this price area. So now we should definitely expect price to respect this resistance area. So I'll definitely tell you guys, you can obviously put your stop loss 30 pips above it. It's going to be respected massively. So now we're going to go to the lower time frames to see where we could actually sell gold from for this coming week. So change it to candlestick, go down to the daily time frame. Let's see if we could see Okay, you guys could obviously see that it filled up this gap and is selling massively. So you can see that obviously there's this gap that price is heading towards. So like I do tell you guys should, if you want to trade the market, the best way to trade the market, you have to trade the market like a hunter. You need to be looking out for liquidity zones, liquidity areas where the market is heading towards, because the market is always heading towards a liquidity area. So now the liquidity area already that is obvious in our chart is this area over here. You can see the gap over here which the market is trying to fill up before it should ideally cause a retracement or so. So you guys can obviously see that there are gaps that price is still yet to fill up, but then with the short-term time frame, you can definitely see that price will definitely want to fill up this gap by either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So now we're going to go to lower time frame, because our mentality is that let's see where we would actually want to sell the market from. So I'm still looking out. Could we see a gap where we would want to sell this from? So it has already obviously filled up this gap. So let's keep going to lower time frames, the 1 hour. Let's see. Okay, so obviously this gap was filled, but then this gap has not yet been filled. So now from the 1 hour time frame, we get to see a gap that is yet to be filled. So definitely FOMC could definitely cause market to come all the way up towards this gap area before it could actually continue the sell trend. So like I do tell you guys, you always want to trade the market after its manipulation. So what is manipulation? Manipulation is when market goes against the trend. So manipulation is like anti-trend. So what do you want to do? You want to always make sure that you trade the market after the retracement. So that is what I'm telling you guys, that markets would definitely want to come all the way to 3390 before it heads all the way down. So that is all for gold. We are going to look out for US30. So US30 is going to be our last analysis before we wrap it up for this week. So for US30, let's see weekly time frame. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of intro on US30 for the beginners over here, for the newbies over here that don't trade US30, because this is our first time actually bringing in US30. US30 is actually also known as Dow Jones. So you guys can obviously see on my chart on my screen that what we have over here is Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. So what does this mean? This is actually a group of, I think there are there are two guys, Dow and Jones, two people. So they actually like combined their name and actually brought about a stock index, the stock index that we're using right now. So it's also called US30. Why is it called US30? It's an index, it's a stock index that is made up of 30 high-class companies in the US. Companies like Apple, Walmart, Visa, American Express. So these companies, the 30 of them, they come together and you can actually invest, because it's publicly limited. So you can actually come in, invest, and actually see yourself make money once the companies perform well. So take for example, if Apple is going to have a good earning capital, what will happen? That means US30 is going to be in high demand. So I don't know if you guys understand, it's actually a lucrative commodity, you understand, because it actually has a crazy volatility. Its good volatility is really crazy. It can actually be why, because it's actually its volatility can actually measure with that of gold. So that, what does it mean? It's actually a very, very volatile pair. So you want to actually be very certain of where you want to be in the market, where you want to buy it, where you want to sell it, when, at the same time, because it's a pair that is highly influenced by the NYSE section, that is the New York section. So you definitely want to be in this market or trade this market during the NYSE session. So definitely it's also a commodity that actually goes by ticks instead of pips, and its demand is based on contract size. So I want to make you guys understand the basics around this. So I'll tell you, before you trade the likes of the US30, the likes of the NAS 100, the likes of the JP, the SP Jones, so the SP50, SP500. So this kind of commodities, you need to actually study them before you can actually trade them. So this US stock indexes, you need to actually study them before you can be able to trade them. So we are going to look at its movement around the chart. So obviously this week we can definitely see that US30 has actually been soaring high since 2020. It has been actually been buying since 2020. So we obviously it should. Why? Because the stocks that make up the US30 has all been performing well. Stocks like Apple has been performing so well. Stocks like American Express, stocks they have all been performing so well. So we are definitely going to keep seeing a huge bullish moves, you understand, with just deep retracements. So obviously you could definitely see that this high has not been capped for a very long time. I believe it's an all-time high. So what do we expect? Definitely price got to this all-time high the first time. It's retraced a little bit, got to the second time, it's pulled, it had a deep retracement. Now it's getting to the third time. So the third time, definitely we would definitely see a reaction around it. Obviously price actually wicked it massively. It went above it, but actually what happened, it closed below it. So this is a signal that price will definitely continue to sell. So for this coming week, I will tell traders that want to venture into the US30, please look out for a bearish dominance. So market is going to be dominated by sellers. So what do you expect? You should actually look out to sell the market. Why is this my analysis? Why is this what I have to tell you guys? Because if the candlestick of last week, because I do pay attention to the candlestick, the particular candlestick of last week. So if this candlestick actually closed above this area, that is when I will tell you guys for sure that it's definitely going to continue the buy trend. But for the fact that it's wicked and it did not close above it, that is a huge signal that price is most likely to go the opposite direction. So that is what I could say for you guys for this coming week, that US30 is going to be dominated by sellers. So I will tell you guys to actually sell US30 from obviously this other block area over here. So let's change this line chart, so we could see obviously this other block over here. You can obviously see that price could not break above it, price could not close above it, not break but close above it. So what do we expect? We expect another retracement towards this gap area. So I'm going to I'm going to mark out this area so you guys could remember this area. So you definitely want to sell, but it's gonna be a short-term sell. Like I do tell you guys, I do give my analysis for the coming week, but in a long-term view, this is obviously still going. There's obviously going to still be a massive bullish movement, which could likely even break the all-time high. But for this coming week, it's just gonna sell. So changing this to the candlestick, we get to see. So we want to sell this all the way down to this fair value area. Price is definitely going to want to fill this area, bring about an equilibrium before it goes the opposite way. So daily time frame, let's see, like I told you guys, obviously you guys could see the hammer that was being formed over here. So what does this mean? It means you can also call it a shooting star. So what does this mean? It's definitely going to keep selling. So obviously you guys are seeing confirmations to this, so it's definitely going to keep selling. And like I told you guys, it's going to sell towards this fair value area. So another confirmation around this fair value area that I just showed you guys now, you guys can obviously see that there is my money flow profile is also giving us an indication that this price area, that is 42,300, has huge amount of contracts around it. So this is my indicator, which is meant to be private, but I'll just give you guys a little bit of hint around it. So also 4-hour is also showing that this area is to be revered, is to actually be considered. So you guys would want to sell I will give you guys where to sell it from. Sell this from this area. Let's see. Sell it from this area. Gap splits, fair value gap. Okay, more confirmations. So sell it from this area. You can obviously see that there was a huge price rejection around here. Price got to this area, and then there's definitely going to be another price rejection around there because of the gap that we can obviously see. So I think that should be all. That should be all for this coming week. So yes, it's a new pair, it's a new beginning for US30. Hopefully, let's see how it goes. We could definitely also incorporate volatility pairs, the synthetics, because I definitely want to incorporate synthetics because the likes of Headway, this is not an ad for them, but Headway has been doing so well. They have involved synthetics, so you can actually trade synthetics with Headway instead of just the normal derivative. So what does this mean? We would want to definitely keep expanding. So that's all for this week. I wish you guys the very best, and before we wrap it up, do like, do subscribe. Why do I keep saying this? Because it's for your own good, so that you get to skip getting the newest updates, so you don't get to miss out. So that's all for this week. Like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and see you guys next week. Ciao.